Hello and welcome. If you are new, my name is Veronica. If not, welcome back. And today's topic is going to be something I'm currently working on, and that is letting go of control. Letting go of control and trusting in divine source, energy, universe, God, whatever you want to refer it to. But really surrendering, trusting, and letting go of that control. Control stems from fear, from ego. And for me, I thought I let go of control, but I recently realized that I've just been projecting it towards certain things. And if I feel like I'm losing control in something, I get so triggered sometimes, and I'm just like fixating over it, because it's like, if I have control of this, it means something to me. It means everything will be okay. It means I'm enough. It means I kind of control the situation and I control the outcome, and I'm gonna be safe if I control it, etc., etc. You might have a reason why you want control, right? Everyone is different. For me, that's kind of why, something that has been that I took on when I was a child, and I did the inner child work. I did the inner healing. I journaled. I really looked deep into this, and I thought I let that go. But like I said, recently I realized that I was just projecting in certain things. So I still need some more letting go to do, some more trusting. And it's a challenge sometimes, especially when it's so in your subconscious that you're not aware of it. But once you become aware of it, or once you're kind of triggered by it, and that's why it's so important to listen to your triggers. It's so important to take accountability for whatever you feel. Because whenever you're feeling sad, whenever you're feeling upset, whenever you're feeling angry or whatever, it literally, your ego, you want to not take responsibility or accountability for those feelings because it's easier. You want to blame situations and people, but once you really shine a light in there, like, what does this mean about myself? Once I was able to do that with certain situations I'm currently going through, I realized it was the control part. And that is a gift for me to grow and heal, which is amazing. So definitely always look inwards, always take accountability, and that's why it's so important. And for me, I think what I've been recently doing is breathing, right? Because whenever we're triggered a little bit, our emotions and our ego fogs logic, fogs the reality, and fogs us from receiving the message of what is, right? Remember, everything's neutral. It's just the meaning we give to it. And so once we let go, I think for control, at least, it's like we want it to be a certain way so bad, right? It can be a certain situation, a relationship, whatever it might be. We want it to look a certain way. We want it to be a certain way. Perfectionism might be another way of control. But to let go and to trust that everything is always working for us and through us. And the reason why I say through us and for us and through us is because based on our beliefs, the stories we tell ourselves, we will react to certain things a certain way. We will attract to certain people, certain situations into our life. We will only receive through that lens, right? So that's how it's happening through us. We'll gravitate our hobbies, our subconscious beliefs, our habitual actions. Everything's working through us, right? Through there. And for us, because life, God, energy, whatever you want to refer to, life will happen to allow us to do this inner healing, to come back to us and to our purpose and our soul purpose. Because remember, we're just here having an experience, but really we're eternal beings. So at least that's my belief. And so life will always happen for us for a greater evolution, because you can learn through adversity or through wisdom. So if we're not intentionally trying to grow and learn, then things will happen for us to look inwards and for us to grow and learn that way. And so I think the control part for me is really trusting, like really being able, and I say these affirmations like, hey Veronica, everything is going to be perfect. Everything's going to be okay. God has my back. This universe has my back. And kind of just continue saying that, like keeping myself in check in a way. And whenever I am, even though it's habitual sometimes and you're not going to always catch yourself, but whenever you have those feelings and you're like, okay, is it because of control? Is it because I'm losing control? And kind of when you become aware of that, you can start letting go and start showing up for yourself. But I love giving myself 3 reasons, like 3 examples on how universe, how about this? 3 examples on how when you don't control things, how things have, gone better than I expected. And the reason for this is because you're gonna show your ego that, hey, in these situations, when you didn't have control, everything worked out great. And so your ego's gonna start calming down a little bit, like, okay, maybe it's all right to not have control 24/7. And so give yourself 3 examples. And you can do this with actually anything, any negative or limiting belief that you have. So you give 3 life examples of the opposite. And so I like giving myself 3 examples constantly whenever I do have these feelings. I love doing a little surrender. I like hone into the emotion of like, I want to control it. And then I identify like, why is it that I want it? Because I'm afraid, because I think things might not turn out, the best benefit for me, etc., etc. You only know your reason. And I hone into that and I like allow it to be like an energy. And this is what I do, and it honestly helps me. I grab a pillow and then I scream to the pillow. And the reason why is because you're releasing that energy. You're just like letting that energy go. And then I come back and then I give myself those reasons on why I should trust the universe, why, those examples of how things have actually turned out for the best. And I also acknowledge that it's just my ego trying to control, and it's fear-based. It's fear-based because it wants to remain the same. It wants to protect you, which I thank it for showing up and trying to protect it, trying to protect me from feeling pain, but it no longer serves me. And it is okay to surrender, because when you surrender, when you truly surrender, that's when magic starts. That's when magic starts coming to you. That's when universe, God always rewards bravery. So that's when you're allowing things to flow to you. Because remember, when you're controlling out of ego. Doesn't mean that's, I'm like grabbing my hand. When you're controlling out of ego. And that doesn't always mean it's the best benefit for you, because you're acting out of emotion. You're acting out of just currently what you feel, what it's not from your higher self. It's not from God. So you kind of have to, for me, what helps me, and I know this is actually a challenging thing when you're going through it, because if it's the way of being that you've been for a while, and all of a sudden you want to change, your ego might not, get used to that. And that's what I'm saying. It took me, like, I've been working on letting go of control for years. I think 2 years now. And I thought I let it go, but it kind of shows up in that. But now I'm more aware of it in a way. Like at first it was like epiphany, like, oh wow, like I have tried to let go, like I've been trying to control situations my whole life, or people, or certain things, OCD on things, or perfectionism, and it's actually stemming from fear. And then I thought I let go of it, and then really it started showing up some other way. And then I tried to let go of that too, and I did. And then I realized currently that I was projecting it towards something else now. So it kind of gets less and less and less, and that is okay. Is maybe if it's so ingrained to you, like it might take you a little bit to kind of allow your ego to smooth, like ease into it and like slowly let go, or you can try letting it go all at once, right? But the only thing with that is that your ego's gonna try to trick you to remain the same. So I really like doing that, harnessing that energy wherever I feel it, and then just like letting it out. And then also doing those 3 things that, how I can trust in the universe, and how I can trust, and 3 examples on how when I did trust it, how it worked out for my benefit. And then the last thing would be maybe doing like a I mean, I do this already from previously, but I have like little affirmations on my mirror. So maybe it's like, I surrender fully to God, or you can do, I trust in divine source, that everything is always in the best, greatest alignment for myself, or whatever you want. Just so you can look at it every day, and it's gonna subconsciously it's gonna go into your subconscious mind whenever you look in the mirror, brushing your teeth, or you're gonna see it so often. Other than that, I mean, I think just allowing yourself to really, is not, I know I say it's easier said than done, but just really allowing yourself to go to trust and to really first allow yourself to feel. And if you start small, like if you let go of small things first and you kind of see how they turn out, you can probably start trusting more in like the universe, that the universe does have your back. I know for me, like I look around, and then things that I have honestly let go of, or let go of control, when you do that, actually, you're so magnetic. When you actually let go of the control, you're so magnetic. And I actually noticed that every time I let go of fully of the control that I have for a certain thing or situation, it actually comes to fruition much faster. Because when you have control, you're adding resistance to it, because you want it so bad, and you're stemming from scarcity, you're stemming from fear, and you're trying to force it. You're not allowing it to come to you in the most divine way. You're like trying so hard. So it doesn't mean, when you let go of control, when you let go of a situation or whatever, it doesn't mean that it's not gonna come to you. It's just, you're gonna be open. You're gonna let go, like just let go, and you're gonna allow whatever is to come to you. And all you're gonna do is just open yourself, be in the best position to open yourself up to receive. And so that could be inner healing, inner work, doing things that you love, working out, incorporating movement, drinking more water. And that thing will gravitate towards you if it's for your greatest good. If not, something better will come to you. And just surrendering, doing rituals or doing little like meditations where it's like, I surrender what I'm feeling, these emotions, to God. I surrender, if this is for me, I'm going to trust. I'm going to put my trust, I'm going to bet on myself, on highest good, on God. I constantly say these things, constantly. And sometimes it's very challenging. And sometimes you're like, you have so much doubt, but just acknowledging that's stemming from fear, that's stemming from God, that's stemming from fear, that's stemming from ego, and that's not stemming from my highest good, or that's not stemming from my highest self or God. So just constantly reminding myself that, I think, is the best bet, and just doing those things I mentioned. And that's what I'm currently working on. Other than that, I mean, it is going to be a little bit of a journey there, but that's the beauty in it, because the more profound you go, the more inner healing you do, the freer you become. And then you would notice that you don't really have to like do all this. Having control of something actually takes so much energy. Trying to control situations and things, like it literally, and you don't know, like this is the thing, if you would have asked me 2 years ago, before I even knew I was trying to control situations or whatever, I didn't even know how it felt to not be that way. But once you get like a little piece of that freedom that you feel, because you're like holding on to so much baggage, trying to control things, you can see the difference. You can feel freer. You feel more like at peace. Like you don't have to do anything. You don't have to control things. You don't have to worry about anything like that. Like it's different. And so start small if you have to, but once you actually start seeing things work out, you're going to want to do more inner healing. You're going to want to go like more profound in that, because all you're going to feel is better and better. You're going to just feel happier and happier, more free, more liberated and more connected with your authenticity, because who you are isn't trying to control things. Who you are is just is. And whatever you want will come if it's aligned with you. All you have to do is just align with it, and if it's for you, it will be. And nothing that isn't for you will not, nothing that's for you can ever be taken from you, because it is for you. It is meant for you. All you have to do is allow yourself to be open to receive. And so just constantly telling myself these things and reminding me myself about that truth, and just be checking myself, just always, not always checking, but just becoming aware if I feel triggered or something, like just checking where that's stemming from, trying to be as open as possible. And then, you know, a situation by situation. So you might find one situation where you're controlling and you let go of that, and then you might see that it's stemmed from something else, like you're kind of projecting it somewhere else in life, and you might want to let go of a little bit of that. And then you can actually just look deeper and do those exercises, like screaming at the pillow, or just harnessing that energy and letting go, and like noticing like where it's stemming from, and how can you show up for yourself, and then constantly just saying, you know, I surrender and I trust. But other than that, I hope this helped, and I will talk to you all in the next episode. Bye.